everyone, welcome to the workshop. It's been ages since I made a video, so I thought I'd do one today for you. The question I've been asked the most recently is all about rosin, so I thought that would be a great subject to cover. So why do we need rosin? Well, rosin is a sticky substance which comes from pine trees. Just as you would expect, the resin from the trees goes into formulating the rosin along with lots of other fancy ingredients. Some even have gold in, that sort of thing. The manufacturers make all sorts of blends and brands of rosin, so there's loads to choose from. So the rosin is put on the horsehair on the bow, and it allows the bow hair to stick in the winding of the strings, which gives you the friction and allows the sound to be produced. So which rosin should you choose? Well, there's so many to choose from. You can get I've got lots in front of me here. You can get a student rosin, like just a black rosin, or a Spaghetti would do a good one. High Design also do a good one. So just a basic block of rosin, about 5, 6, 7 pounds. That'll last you a nice long time. They're perfectly fine. You can get rosins formulated for specific strings. Parastro do a lot of these. So we've got all sorts of rosins here for, well, these ones are formulated for the olive string or the Eva Parazzi string. You've got rosin especially for eudoxa strings. So sometimes actually getting the rosin that's formulated for the string you use is really good, and you get a really good sound with that. You can get really posh rosin with gold in it, like I said. Mostly you'll get violin rosin, viola rosin, cello rosin. Some manufacturers are making one that does all instruments now. This will do violin, viola and cello. Usually though, I would maybe recommend that you stick to the rosin formulated for your instrument, but I haven't tried this one yet, so that's quite exciting. Really, it's finding the brand that works for you. Recently I did succumb, I have to admit, to some really beautiful boxed rosin. They come in such lovely boxes, wooden boxes, and I just really bought them because they looked so nice. No other reason. I haven't even tried them yet, but what a lovely present that would make for somebody. You can also get rosin that comes with a special rosin spreader on the bottom. So you would rosin your bow with the rosin in the case, and then you would use the spreader on your bow hair to spread it evenly through. Another invention, works pretty well. I have tried that one. There's all sorts of different rosin depending on when the resin came out of the tree. So at certain times of year the trees will produce light resin, and at certain other times of the year they'll produce darker ones. So you can see this is a light rosin and a darker rosin. Now the darker rosin is said to stick better. It'll have slightly more sticking power. I have found though that if I use a dark one in the UK where I live, it's very humid and wet a lot of the year. I have found that it makes the bow hair too sticky and it goes really claggy. So actually I found that swapping to a light rosin sorted that problem. But if you live in a really dry climate, a dark rosin is a great idea. Again, it just depends on where you live and what you're doing playing wise as well. I have had some musicians that come to me who are recording and they've got a funny buzz or hiss on their recording and they can't get rid of it. I've advised changing the rosin and that sorted the problem. So some rosins can be a bit scratchy on some instruments than others. It really is a case of just trying something and seeing what works for you. So if any of you want to know, I do use this rosin. It's a bit of a posh one. I like it because it's got a darker bit in the middle, and then round the edge you've got a light rosin. So actually the two blend really well together and it gives me perfect rosin for the climate I live in. If you want to know, just comment underneath what it is, but this is my favourite. It's not cheap, but it's well worth it. I'm not ever going to recommend what you choose. It is a real personal preference. So yeah, maybe just go and buy yourself, treat yourself to a new block of rosin. You can't keep them forever. Once it gets cracked, throw it away. It could break your bow hair and you don't want that. That'll end up with a bow rehair as well. So if it gets cracked or damaged, or you've had it for a few years, treat yourself to a new one. So I've been asked, how do I use my rosin? So I would tighten the bow to playing tension. Grab the block of rosin you're going to use. Now never touch the rosin with your fingers. We've all got oily skin. However clean you keep your hands, we've all got oils in our skin. If you touch the sticky rosin, not only will you transfer the stickiness to over your instrument and your bow, but you'll stop the rosin being so sticky. If it becomes shiny and oily, it's not going to work. So never touch the rosin. Also, never touch the bow hair with your fingers because you'll transfer the oils onto that as well. And again, you'll have the same problem. So I just use a fairly firm pressure, literally just up and down. I do know some musicians who will only go down the bow with their rosin because they think it keeps the rosin in the follicles of the hair better. That may be true. I've never done it that way. I've always just gone straight up and down the bow, but find what works for you again. Never just do the tip and the heel like that. You'll just end up with nothing in the middle. A lot of the younger students do this and their bows skidding around all over the place. If you don't put enough rosin on, you'll find that you'll need to over tighten your bow, and that's not good for it. So getting the balance right is really important. If you get too much rosin on the front of your instrument, it will build up. Now this is a very hard working violin. It's in for a service, so don't panic. But you can see there, the rosin is completely built up. That's going to need a professional clean to get that off. But if you use your microfiber cloth each time you play, you can just keep that rosin build up down and you won't get this problem at all. This is a hard working violin, like I say. Who does really remember at the end of a gig at 1 o'clock in the morning to clean their violin? But if you try it, it will prolong the life of your strings, and also it will stop that rosin eating into the varnish on the front of your violin. So the other question I'm asked is, when should I get my bow rehaired? So this is a way you can tell. If you loosen the hair, so it would be like it would be when you put it away. If you can loosen the hair even more and push the frog to the front of the mortise here, it should reach the leather band or thereabouts. If you could do that and the bow hair looks like that, it's gone a bit saggy, then it's time for rehair. When a bow is just done, the hair should sit nice and close to the stick like that. It's not under tension, but that's a good rule of thumb. When you've had it rehaired, it should look like that. That's gone saggy, time for a rehair. Also, if it's got dirty at the end here, just get it rehaired. If you lose 5% or more of your hairs, that's another time to get it rehaired because they'll just all start falling out after that. So that's top tip on rehairing. Again, you could always clean your stick with microfiber cloth, but again, don't touch the bow hair. That's the best advice for bows, I think. So if there's anything else you want to know about rosin, just post underneath and comment. I hope that's been helpful for you. I'll see you again soon.